Amelia Earhart proclaimed, "You haven't seen a tree till you've seen the shadow from the sky."
History tells again and again about man's desire to fly like the birds.
This is first seen in many myths and legends about flight. A popular ancient Greek story tells us about Icarus and his father making wings of wax and feathers. In this story, Icarus flew too close to the sun. His wings melted and he fell into the ocean.
Around 400 BC in China, kites were invented. Men were beginning to think about flying.
These beautiful kites were used in ceremonies just for fun and for testing the weather.
Kites were forerunners of balloons and gliders.
In 1783, Joseph and Jacques created the first hot air balloon.
Hot air from a fire rose and filled the balloon, which made it lighter than air.
The balloon's first passengers were a duck, a sheep, and a rooster. Impressively, it went 6,000 feet high and traveled 1 mile.
Over the next 100 years, men developed and endeavored to improve the glider.
They closely observed birds' wings and how to control the glider with their own bodies.
They realized that power would be needed for flying long distances. These gliders inspired the Wright brothers to design the airplane. The Wright brothers' propellers pushed the airplane barely off the ground.
This was a breakthrough. By doing this, they proved Newton's laws and discovered that thin propellers could give enough speed to lift an airplane.
Over time, propellers improved.
In the 1920s, Luigi Stipa, who studied Bernoulli's principle, invented a more efficient propeller. Carefully, he placed it inside a duct or tube, which affected the velocity and pressure.
Because it had shorter blades and smaller gears, which could reach higher speeds.
When added to a plane, the ducted fan made it quieter, safer, able to hover and produce thrust more easily. Although the airplane can now transport hundreds of people, men are returning to the dream of centuries ago, personal flight. In the 1990s, new materials and computers awakened that dream. Rob Balaga and Mike Mashore, who founded Trek Aerospace in California, partnered with NASA at Ames Research Center.
There they tested their design of personal aircraft, which used a ducted fan in NASA's wind tunnel.
They watched the airflow at different angles and learned that their duct system was successful and could be further developed.
After that, they created the fly-by-wire system with joysticks to control altitude and turns.
They are currently putting together the Dragonfly. It will be able to carry 450 pounds and would be used for important jobs such as crop dusting, traveling, or medical emergencies.
This vehicle can be controlled by remote rather than driven by a pilot.
The Springtail can fly 113 miles per hour and can climb as high as 11,400 feet.
This aircraft could be used in rescue missions, security, firefighting, and police work and military missions.
Regular people might like to use this for convenience, like when they're stuck in traffic.
Right now, the Dragonfly and Springtail are still being worked on, and they are not for sale.
However, Trek Aerospace has a miniature version called the OV-1 that can be purchased. It can travel 44 miles per hour and lift about 6 pounds while rising 2,280 feet every minute. It is radio controlled and especially safe because of the ducted fans, which protect the rotors and everything that the vehicle might bump against.
Will personal flight finally be possible? With the help of NASA and today's inventors, the sky's the limit. Hey Dad, can I borrow the Springtail keys? Okay, but you have to be back before 3. Okay then, bye.